So good morning to all those. We got a good one today. I always like talking about courage. Courage to me is always a um, something that it's hard to describe, and we're going to talk a little bit about it here shortly. Let me give is Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a dad. Here, I thank you for being on here. So today's topic talks about what I really, really love is courage. And for those that were in here earlier, we were just talking about the definition of courage. And so one of the quotes that I have here talks about, and this is from the book, the Good Morning book, the 365 ways. Karen and Jill, I got them the book a little while ago, and they loved it so much. And I know they use it every single day. But so here's the quote this morning. It's actually on my Facebook quote as well. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. I'm going to repeat it again because I want us to really understand there's a certain part of this that I really going to emphasize again. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment. Here's the part that something else is more important than fear. And today we're going to talk about what that something else is. It goes on to say, we often admire others we see as courageous. We admire their drive, their spirit, and their commitment. It is easy to wish we could live without fear and with such devotion. I love this quote because I think it speaks an important message about truth and courage. People are not courageous because they do not feel fear. I'm going to say that again. People are not people are not courageous because they do not feel fear. People are courageous because they found something that is important than their fear. They have found something that awakens their heart, their mind, and their spirit. This something changes their perspective. The something becomes large, so their fear becomes small. When we don't have an important something in our lives, one that awakens our mind, our body, and our soul, fear will overtake us. It goes on to say, what drives you? What's that burning desire inside of you? What awakens your heart, your mind, your soul, so that the destination becomes more important than the fear? Many times people ask me, and sometimes I even get emotional when I talk about this, because there was a point in my life, and for those that know my story, there was a point in my life that I almost lost my kids because of my drinking. And I remember having that heart to heart moment. And I said, when somebody says, Brock, I mean, I'll tell you, like, excuse some of the profanity, but it was basically, listen, dumbass, if you don't change, you will lose your kids. I'm just telling you that right now. And that struck me. And even at the time, I didn't have Bryce. So it was Brielle that literally was my why. In that fear, because when you're facing like, I'm going to stop drinking, which was the crutch and the leverage of my life, and it was all I knew, to face that fear and say, I'm going to stop drinking was like overwhelming, because for 3 years, I tried to stop drinking. And for a full year, I tried immensely to try to find different ways, church, counselors, name it, but nothing could overcome it until I got to that point when it said, hey, dumbass, if you keep doing this, you will lose your child. And that's what struck me. That was the something in my life. And let me also share with you that my something has to become bigger. It did. And then there's Bryce. So now I have two somethings, but then there's going to be something else that needs to be bigger, because there's different fears that come inside my life. But the line that it says, the something else becomes more important than the fear. And when that takes place, and when that transforms differently in your body, watch out. Watch out. And today, that's something at 4:35 in the morning was not something that hit me quite yet. I'm a normal human being, just like anybody else. And discipline can only take me so far, and motivation can only take me so far. So where did that something come from? It came to people that are on this call this morning. They're on my Facebook Live. They're on the Zoom that hit me. And one of them was Mike, because I had his call at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I knew he was going to say to me, "Welcome back, not from the beach anymore." And that's literally what he said. And I'll be damned if I tell him I sleep in and I didn't go to the gym this morning. Why? It's just how my brain is. And that fear of having to tell somebody I didn't do it, of letting somebody down, that's what propels me. So, what propels you? What propels you to get up in the morning? What propels you that if you had a bad night's sleep, if you don't feel very good, what propels you to keep moving? I'm alive. I didn't want to get up, but I'm still here. So what gets you going that when many people would say, I'm hit the snooze today? What is it? Only you could tell. And says, what drives you? So today I'm going to encourage you. I want you to try to take 5 minutes. If you can't find 5 minutes of your day, take 3. And seriously write down what moves you. I know Scott is balancing another job that he has. And in the mornings, he has a whole time management and how he's balancing his other job in real estate and still being successful. There's many stories. Last night, I told a story to Wendy's sister about my real estate and how I got into real estate and what that looked like for me to leave teaching. And I literally told this story, and she's like, "Brock, I don't believe this." And Wendy would laugh like, "Yeah, he was crazy." And I'm still crazy to this day. And maybe one day I'll share with you on how I did both real estate and teaching at the same time and doubled my income every year to the point I was making more money in real estate than I was my full-time job. And I was an assistant principal. And how I did that and how everything, she was like, her name's Kim. And she was just like, she's like, "That's insane on what you did." I said, "I had it down to a science. I had it down to exactly what time period I would use the bathroom. So then that way I knew when I could work and leverage other coaches to help me out. And I had fax machines to change over to PDFs, and I knew which time period I could do it. So then that way I could call my clients because I had to pretend I was a full-time agent working a full-time job. I wasn't my fear of being a teacher, and nothing wrong with teaching, the rest of my life, I wasn't going to have that. So my something was bigger than my fear of being a teacher the rest of my life. And now I get to coach and teach real estate agents. And I get paid a lot more money doing this. And I live a financial life that is abundance than I ever thought I could imagine. So with that being said, it is 8:26. And so Mike and I were talking a little bit about what we were going to discuss today. And Mike, you're going to have to remind me. So Mike Castor and I, we've been doing this for several years. He comes on every Monday and we do our role play and our conversations every Monday morning. That's how we start off our week. And so I can't, Mike, my mind actually went blank right here. So you're going to have to refresh me in what we talked about this morning, because I was all into courage and what that looked like. Oh, I think I remember Facebook, but go ahead. Remind me again, just so that way I did have the same thought process.
Well, again, you did kind of say, because you were like, hey, getting back into it. What do we got to do, and what's new, and what's going on, and what do we have to do now? And I said, I hate to say it because I always sound like a broken record when I say it, but it's like sometimes I'll hear new agents say to you, "Hey, the market is different, and we've done this." And you said, "Remember my Facebook memory from 2018?" And
yes,
we're doing all this work, and I said, "Brock, whether it was 2018 in that unique market, 2020 with COVID, 2022 with interest rates, it doesn't matter. The success comes from just doing the same thing consistently." And I use the example of when somebody says like, "Oh, here's way to get rich in the stock market and you do this or you do that strategy or whatever. And yet the successful people say, hey, look, put $100 a week into a mutual fund for the rest of your life. And over the course of your life, you're going to have a nice retirement. Now, does that mean you can't get rich by being a stockbroker or money manager? Yeah, you could do all that, or play the stock market. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, can you get rich in real estate by going out and landing a big investor who's going to, carry your weight? Yeah. Or getting with a certain group of rich people and do it. Yeah, you could do that. But consistently, what it is, it's doing the same thing over and over and over, just doing it consistently. Because when you were pointing to 2018 and everybody was making calls, and I said, yes, you can make a lot of money making calls, and there are people making money, but you have to make the freaking calls.
Right.
And I use the example of a person who used to be on our team, and I love this guy, so I ain't going to pick on him. But I remember it was about 4 years ago. We were sitting around, and Brock was like, okay, I want you to write down what you're going to do every day. And then we're going to show you mathematically how much money you're going to make, because it's just numbers. And I remember this kid, he said he was going, I'm going to do dials, and I'm going to dial for sale by owners, withdrawn, expires. And I remember him saying, based on the numbers that he wanted to make in a year, the conversion rate means eventually he'd have to make this many dials a day. And I remember it was between 50 and 55 dials a day. And he used to sit behind me. And every day we go into the office, and, a couple of days we talk. And one day I turned to him and I said, man, I'm not judging you. I'm just want to point out what I think is an obvious fact. And I try to do this with all the love in the world when I said, you said you were going to do between 50 and 55 dials a day. I could care less. But when we do our accountability numbers, you're somewhere between 15 and 23 every day. So by mathematical definition, you're going to make about half of what you said you had to make to stay in this business, or you're going to have to double the amount of dials. So which one are you going to do? And then, of course, we had a conversation. He's like, I can't, do this. I got kids. I got this. I'm like, oh, no, I get it. You don't have to explain to me. I'm just trying to be a friend here and say, this is the reality. So when Brock says to me, Mike, you should be calling for sale by owners. You do really well. I'd like, I know I would. But I also know me, it's not what I would do. All I'll do is this over here. And when I'm doing this over here, as long as I do the same thing over and over and over. I know you guys get on, it's like, okay, what's Mike doing today? Oh, what letter of the alphabet is he at now? He's up here. And I won't bore you with the whole long story of what I told Brock. And I said, but I illustrated to him what my results were based on this, based on the two clients that are going to do double-sided deals this year. I said to Brock, if these two clients just do what they say they're going to do, and they have because they're past clients and like Mike, we're ready to buy. I said, this is a total of 3.5 million-ish, between 3.2 and 3.5 million in business. I said, if I was to tell an agent, listen, how would you like to do between 3.2 and 3.5 million this year with two clients? They're both going to do double-sided deals. One's going to be about a $2 million double side, and one's going to be about a $1.3 million double side. Most agents would be like, I'm all for that. What do I got to do? The same consistent stuff that I do every day. You pick up your phone, you go to that letter, you're dialing out to your sphere, you're sending out texts, you're sending emails, you're sending birthday cards, you're sending house anniversary cards, you're doing your pumpkins at Halloween, your pies at Thanksgiving, your Christmas gifts, your happy 4th of July, you're sending out little 4th of July gifts. Nothing big, but if that's all you had to do, and you could do 3.5 million in sales for two people on 4 transactions, and because there is no commission adjustment, because these are sphere, they ain't not going to ask for a cut in commission or anything. So I should average 3%, 3.5 on the list, 2.5 probably on the buy. So 3% of 3.5 million is 100 grand. So for the agents, like, hey, what do we do? Interest rates are up. I'm not saying you don't adjust your scripts or change how your approach is going to be a little bit, but big picture is there is no big major panacea. There is no super secret. Brock's been hiding the secret for 6 months. And hey, now I'm going to whip out. Here's the secret that in this market you're going to do. The secret is he already emailed me. I love that about him. Knowing I probably am not going to call these for sale by owner expired. He's already emailed me the list from over the weekend. Because why? Because he's doing the same thing that he does over and over and over consistently to yield the same results that he's getting. So I didn't mean to take over your call, but that's all I got to say about that.
No, you're good, man. I mean, it's so true in how we started this literally like he told me. I was reading 2018. And so if you're taking notes today, I want you to write down what's my worth? What's my value? And I don't want to see a dollar sign in this point right here. Okay. Because 2018, like he said, what was the difference? To me, the difference was the value of what we were putting out there and the need of us. We had 17 contracts we put under contract in July, and we had 7 new listings going on. And when we talk to people, and I say to people, like we averaged between 20 and 27 units a month, I can't make that stuff up. And Facebook threw water in my face and be like, hey, this was you. Like you got to feel that again. Yes, my team was bigger at the time. But the point I'm trying to make is we all have access to the exact same FISBOs, the exact same expireds. The difference to me is we might not all have the same past clients. Okay. That might not be the same playing field. It might not be the same sphere of influence. But when you have the same access to the FISBOs and to the expireds, and I say this not to impress you, as I say many times, last week I was on vacation. Okay. And both of my for sale by owners went under contract last week alone, and I made $30,000 while I was on vacation. I just picked those people up 30 days ago because I picked up the phone and I do it every single day. And I have my conversations every single day. And I sharpen my axe every single day more than I waste my time. Well, let me just go flop through these calls and then I get frustrated. No, I do the same thing every single day. That's why I got excited going back in today's Monday. I had to find something to get me charged up. And it was like, damn, I want to be able to get these deals again. I could do it. I just proved it. I did it over here. And it was just like, I don't know, guys. I just get like Mike and I, like some of you guys, I want to shake because the opportunity for you is there. And I want you to get it because I like the competition. Brock, people say, Brock, you give out these FISBOs and expireds. Well, if you're in my wheelhouse, if you're in my coaching program, if you're one of my mentees, you're on the team, yes, you get these. Okay. Everybody has the same access to these numbers. I don't care. Like, I hope you get the deal. That's great to me. We're not the only ones calling these people. I can also guarantee you that too. Anyways, it's 8:36. I hope you're able to get something out of it. For those in Facebook world, feel free to put a message out there. Zoom world, as always, you guys get to stay on here, and we're going to go to our team meeting here. But if I can help you out in any single way, a couple of things going on next month that I want to know is one is I'm looking to grow the team. So if you are thinking or know somebody who's thinking about being on a team, to let me know, as well as growing my coaching platform. If you have anybody, a life coach, business coach, or anything like that, feel free to have them reach out to me. I am growing. I am looking to be able to do different things, as well as I know the team is. And there's a lot of great opportunities because we got the second half of the month. And I told you to write down what your value is. Guys, people need you. People need us more than they did the last 2 years. And when you need something, it's a good feeling inside as well. And we're here to help. So those in Facebook world, have a great day. Thank you so much for being on here. For those that watch the recording, thank you. Make a post out or put a comment in there if you like it. And we will talk to you tomorrow morning at 8:15.